hear a little bit from Sean Payton. But before we do that, Cecil, we had an unexpected announcement come from the Denver Broncos yesterday where assistant coach and special teams coordinator that helps out on that side, Mike Westhoff, had to resign from the team for health reasons. He's going to move back to his Florida home to monitor his health situations. The reporter of him having trouble seeing and just kind of, hey, up in the air here. I know he's, 76 years old, I believe, is Mike Westhoff. So talked with the Broncos. I'm sure it's very difficult. He made a full statement we'll get in a second unless you have it there. Just, hey, got to go take care of myself.
Right.
But what does that mean for the Broncos and especially his special teams specialty? And that's where they lost the game this last week.
Mike's amazing, first and foremost. And this is just a tweet that he sent, or X post that he sent. Well, I don't know what to call it. Who cares? But he just said, I want to thank everyone for the well wishes. I want to assure you I'm okay. My body gave me a warning this week, and I had to listen and put my health first.
Good.
Hashtag Broncos country is amazing. Thank you. Mike Westhoff is a legend, an absolute legend in coaching circles, in just football circles, in special teams, like coaching and design and all these sorts of things. So it stinks. Coach Katwika, who I'll be talking to on Thursday, and a lot of people will be talking to based on how the game against Kansas City went. He does a fantastic job, and he's always had Coach Westhoff as, kind of that advisor, if you will.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, Coach Katwika is ready to go on without him. But this definitely does stink because Westhoff is just a resource. He's forgotten more about football than maybe Sean Payton knows. I mean, he knows football, and he knows special teams play. So, it's good that he recognizes a health concern. I'm not going to say health scare, but a health concern, and then he put his health first. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many coaches. Jim Harbaugh had a damn heart thing on the sidelines against Denver. Then he was back after halftime. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Gary Kubiak had the heart stuff. We've seen this before from coaches that just don't want to go away or give up their coaching or whatever. And Coach Westhoff is older, so maybe his decision was more in front of him than some of these younger coaches. But it's still good to see. It's only football. As someone who has said one time to me that you're way too serious about football. I'm like, I'm way too serious about everything. Yeah. But it's just football. Uh-huh. Take your health seriously. And Coach Westhoff will be missed. He was always so gracious. You see him around the facility. Mm-hmm. Always great to talk to. So, yeah, they'll miss him. But I think Coach Katwika will be ready.
And I like the fact that he's saying, hey, my body gave me a sign. That's something, hey, we can all take. I take my job way too serious. I think a lot of people do that, right?
Yep.
But you know what's more important than any job I'll ever have? My health and my family.
Yes.
And you got to prioritize those things over anything that you have going on in your life. Yeah, even the greatest job in the world that you might have.
You're like 10 years younger than me, and all those little aches and pains that you're getting now.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just you wait. So watch your health because as you get older, like, hey, I don't feel bad today. I don't have any gout or anything. Like, my knees don't hurt. My shoulder doesn't hurt.
Right.
Hey, today's a good day.
Yes.
That's just kind of what you do as you kind of continue to climb and get up there in age.
Yeah, my elbow this morning, I woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm back, baby.
Your elbow's good?
For nothing. I just woke up feeling better.
It wasn't video game elbow, was it?
No, I haven't had the time to play lately, which is kind of ticking me off.
You haven't got Call of Duty yet.
I did get it. I sent you a request, too. Did you see?
I didn't see it.
Oh, see? Mike Westhoff, best of luck. Prioritize the health. Made the right decision. Good work there, Coach Westhoff. All right, what did Coach Payton have to say about overcoming a tough loss? Now, he's talking about, obviously, the Chiefs game where the blocked field goal with Alex Forsythe on his back led to a heartbreaking loss. But you can even go back to Baltimore. We're talking about consecutive losses in a big way in Baltimore, a heartbreaking way in Kansas City. Sean talked about how you overcome those kind of losses. Oh, maybe, Kev. There we go.
Well, there's a lot ahead. Obviously, we've got 8 games. I mean, I don't know how many games left. So I think this team has been resilient. So the sky isn't falling, relative to our season, the schedule. We're sitting here at 5-5. Obviously, we'd love to have been 6-4 with a win yesterday. But the focus shifts, quickly to the next game. I like the leadership on this team. Someone asked about that yesterday. It's an entirely different team than a year ago. It's tough. It's tough mentally and physically. We've got to have a good week a good week of practice here coming up for Atlanta, overcoming a tough loss. Listen, that when you talk to the players about that, you tell them that, hey, that's going to happen periodically in your career, and you hope that you have a few of those games that maybe you thought you didn't deserve to win that you did win, and you've got to bounce back either way.
So he's talking about that football karma that we were talking about a little bit yesterday, but he's talking about leaders in the locker room. You're there. You're going to be there this afternoon. You'll be there tomorrow. I'm there after every game. You said it about guys like Zach Allen talking about it. Hey, can't get beat twice. We know who a guy like Mike McGlinchey is, and what'd you call him, like the mayor of the locker room?
He is the mayor of Broncos
exactly
country, sure.
Cortland Sutton, I've seen multiple times this season after games not tuck his chin, holding his head high, and locker room right next to Troy Franklin, which is not a mistake, and doing the same thing for those young fellas. Sean's absolutely right about that. As much as we go, damn, they need so many more playmakers around him, which is true, him as Bo Nix. They do have a lot of leadership around Bo Nix.
Yeah, and that's why they'll be steady. And this was a different loss, much different loss. And I guess we could ask, which do you prefer? Getting your ass kicked or losing a heartbreaker?
Yeah, kick my ass, please.
I think everyone would say when it's over at a little bit after halftime and Bo Nix gets the ball back and it's 31-10, you're like, okay, this one's not going the way we thought. When you lose that heartbreaking fashion, it's a different way to get over it, right? It's a different way to move on from it. So how do the Broncos do that? I think they'll do it quite well because that's just what they've shown to do in the 2 years under Sean Payton. The culture has been built where you're not going to get too high with the highs. You're not going to get too low with the lows. You're not reading your press clippings. Honestly, you probably don't want to read many of your press clippings
not today,
to begin the season, for sure, for this Broncos team. So they're not going to get too big for their britches, and they're not going to think the sky is falling. The playoffs are well within their reach, well within their grasp. You go out, take care of business, and like CU, you control your own destiny.
That's exactly right. Something else Sean talked about yesterday that I definitely want to get into here is Nick Bonito and how great Nick has been leading the team with 7 sacks.
Well, he certainly made the leap. He's getting more snaps. He's getting more pass rush snaps. I think the key for Nick was playing the run at him. He's at the right weight right now. He's a guy that plays with real good bend. He can bend, torque his body. He's got a lot in the tank relative to his pass rush and what he wants to do and how to set somebody up. He's really helped us.
So Nick leads the team with 7 sacks.
The one that was taken away against Lamar, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because we would have been at 8 in a row now if that one had been registered as a sack. I was really disappointed when that happened.
But, man, you've talked about him on the verge of being paid, which he certainly is. My question to you and to kick around here, I told Stoke this back when he was on the show. I thought the Broncos would have 2 double-digit sack players this season. Nick Bonito has 7. Jonathan Cooper has 6.5. And Zach Allen and John Franklin Myers both have 5. There are 8 games left. Bonito's getting there. I believe Cooper will get there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's 2. It's now about what Zach Allen and JFM do in the final 8 games.
Yeah, and for defensive linemen, 5's a season total. So, they'll push for 7, 8, something like that. Sacks usually come in bunches. The great thing about Bonito, and you heard Coach talk about it there, is you used to be able to just run right at him because he'd use his burst and he'd just run right around the tackle. It's awesome, but they ran underneath you. They ran where you were. You have to keep your head on a swivel and make sure that you're keeping contained, but also attacking the run. Von Miller was great at it.
Yep.
And again, I'm not comparing Bonito to Von Miller, but Von would bend around that edge, but he'd still slap your feet as a runner and he'd get you down. Bonito's not doing that yet, but he's not a liability against the run the way that he was not that long ago. And just the progression, the development that he's done, it's been fantastic because he wasn't this player coming out of college.
No.
He's developed into this player and now using more pass rushing tricks. He always had him. He didn't know how to stack him. Like Jonah Ellis has him, knows how to stack him. Doesn't have the speed or burst of Bonito. His game is like heart and hustle and energy, right? But with Bonito, you saw the potential, but he was nowhere near the force that he is right now.
Yeah, it's a great story. And Jonah Ellis, you bring up, there's a guy that we can talk about now moving into next year as a depth piece and what he adds to this Broncos team. So fired up about it. I believe they do get to 2 double-digit sack players this season, Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper. All right, the Avs, they're back on the ice tonight.